In this video, we are going to be solving two-step equations. Here's our first problem. 2x plus 1 equals 9. The first thing I'm going to do is draw a dotted line right here. It's not that you have to. I just do it to try and make sure I know where the equal sign is to balance things out. I'm going to go and I'm going to put my pencil on this x. This says 2 times x plus 1 equals 9. Well, the first thing I need to do is add or subtract. I need to move this plus 1 over to the other side. Well, to move it over, I have to do the opposite. It says plus 1, so the opposite is minus 1. So I'm going to subtract 1 from each side. Now I have 2x, and these cancel out, they make 0, equals 9 minus 1, which is 8. Now this actually says 2x equals 8. 2 times x equals 8. The opposite of times is divide. You don't, like up here how we did the opposite, right here when we're dividing, all we're doing is the opposite operation. So instead of multiply, we're dividing, and we divide by the exact number that's there. So I'm going to divide each side by 2. These cancel, and I get x equals 8 divided by 2 is 4. And I will box my answer. Now, I didn't have my calculator out and ready. So let me get that here. Let's talk about checking our answers. Sorry, I'm trying to get my calculator cleared. All right. What we're going to do is we're going to put the left-hand side of the equation into y1 and the right-hand side into y2. So I'm going to come over here to my calculator. I'm going to press y equals. I'm going to put 2x plus 1 into y1. 2, and here's the x button, plus 1. And then go down here, I'm going to put into y2 what's on the other side. Now you're going to press second graph. I think the answer is 4. So if I go down here, I'm going to go look where x is 4. I'm going to go look and see. And if y1 and y2, if these are the same numbers, then that means I did it correct. Another way I can do this, if I put it into y1 and y2, now I can go second, trace. See how it says 5 for intersect? Press 5. I'm going to let it finish working. And I'll press enter 3 times. 1, 2, 3. There is my intersection. 4, 9. It means my x number is 4. It means I got it correct. Okay, the next problem. Pause the video and come back and see how you did. On this one, I'm going to draw my dotted line again. This says 3x minus 2 equals 7. The opposite of minus 2 is plus 2. So I'm going to add 2 to each side. Now I get 3x, negative 2 plus 2, that's 0, those go away, equals 9. 4 plus 2 is 9. 3 times x, the opposite of times, is divide. Now these cancel. And you get x equals 9 divided by 3 is 3. Let's go over here and check it in the calculator. Remember I said left-hand side into y1, right-hand side into y2. So I will go over here. Let me clear it out. I'm going to put in there, let's see if I can move the calculator over a little bit. I'm going to put 3x plus, no, not plus, sorry. Minus, this is the minus button, the blue one. This is a negative sign. Minus is in the blue. Minus 2. And in y2, I'm going to put 7. Now I'm going to press second graph. I believe the answer is 3. If I go and look here, sure enough, y1 and y2 are the same numbers. That means I'm correct. I can also do second, trace, 5 for intersect. Let it finish working so you don't freeze the calculator. Press enter 3 times. Answer is 3, 7. The answer is 3. Next one. Here's the next problem. Pause the video, come back and see how you did. I'm going to draw my dotted line. It says negative 7 plus 2x equals 7. Okay, I need to move this negative 7. I need to add 7 to each side. These cancel out. I get 2x equals 14. 2 times x. The opposite of times is divide. I will divide each side by 2. X equals 7. Okay, so now let's go to check this. I'm going to go to y equals. And now, it says -7. Press the white button. -7 plus 2x. That goes into y1. I'll go down into y2 and press 7. Second graph. I believe the answer is 7. So I go down here, y1 and y2, they're both the same. Sure enough, I got it right. Or second trace, 5 for intersect, and enter 3 times. And there's my answer. Whoop, clear on there, 7, 7. Next one, pause the video, come back and see how you did. Okay, on this one, draw my dotted line. This says 8 minus x equals 6. The minus goes with the x. The 8 is actually positive. You have to subtract 8 from each side. These cancel. I get -x equals -2. This is the same as a -1. You need to divide each side by -1. Negative divided by negative is a positive x equals negative divided by negative is positive. 2 divided by 1 is 2. So now you put the left-hand side into y1, right-hand side into y2. So now I go up here. I'm going to clear these out. I'm going to put 8 minus is the blue button, x. Then in y2, 6. Second graph. I believe the answer is 2. Sure enough, y1 and y2 are both 6. Remember, second, trace, 5 for intersect, enter 3 times. There's your answer, 2, 6. The x is 2. Next one, pause the video, come back and see how you did. Draw my dotted line. I know it's on the other side, but it still doesn't matter. I have 6 equals 2x plus 4. Okay, I need to move this plus 4. So I'm going to subtract 4 from each side. I get 6 minus 4 is 2, and that equals 2x. I'm going to divide by 2. These cancel. X equals 2 divided by 2 is 1. To check, left-hand side y1, right-hand side y2. So I'm going to go in the calculator. Go to y equals. I'm going to put 6 into y1, and in y2 I'm going to put 2x plus 4. Second graph. I believe the answer is 1. Whoop, I missed it right there. There we go, 6 and 6. You can also do second trace, 5 for intersect, enter 3 times. There it is, x equals 1. Next one, pause the video, come back and see how you did. Draw my dotted line. I have -x plus 4. I need to move the plus 4, so I'll subtract 4 from each side. I get 7 equals -x, because these cancel. This is like a -1. So I divide by -1 to each side. I get -7 equals x, because a negative divided by negative is a positive. Or you can write it, x equals -7. You can write it in either order, it doesn't matter. Now to check, left-hand side into y1, right-hand side into y2. Going into the calculator, I'm going to put 11 in y1 and -x plus 4 into y2. Second graph, I'm going to go up to find -7. y1 and y2 are the same. There's the next one. Pause the video and see how you did. I'm going to draw my dotted line. This says -6 minus x equals 12. I'm going to move the -6. I'm going to add 6 to each side. I get -x equals 18. This is the same as a -1. I'm going to divide by -1 to each side. Negative divided by negative is a positive. X equals negative 18. Next one. Pause the video, come back and see how you did. Draw my dotted line. It says 5x plus 3. The opposite of plus 3 is minus 3, so I'm going to subtract 3 from each side. 5x equals 15. 5 times x, the opposite of times is divide. I'm going to divide each side by 5. X equals 3. Again, you can still be checking these in the calculator exactly how I showed you. Next one. This one, look at that, it has a fraction on it. It says x divided by 8 x divided by 8 minus 4 equals 4. We're going to do the same thing. I'm going to draw my dotted line right here. First thing I'm going to do is move this minus 4. I'm going to add 4 to each side. These cancel. I get x divided by 8 equals 8. Well, now what? What do I do now? Well, what's the opposite of divide? Multiply. So I'm going to multiply by 8 to each side. By doing the opposite, this is like 8 over 1, which means that I can cross these out, and I get x equals 8 times 8 is 64. Now let me go ahead and put this one in the calculator. I'm going to put the left-hand side into y1, right-hand side into y2. So let me go over here, get my calculator. Now, a lot of people get confused when it has the divide. You're going to put x divided by, let me see if you saw that, x divided by 8 minus 4 into y1. It looks like that. I'm going to go up there and put 4 in here. Second graph. Now I'm looking to see if 64 is my answer. So I can press this and go all the way down to 64. Or go second window, type in 64, and go second graph, and that will take me to 64. And so now you can see that you're correct. Again, I went second window, type in the number I want, and then second graph. So I'll go back second window. I'm going to go back to 0. Type 0 in, second graph, and it took me back to the beginning. Next problem. Pause the video and come back and see how you did. I'm going to draw my dotted line. You should have subtracted 3 from each side. I get x divided by negative 6 equals 5. Well, the opposite of divide is multiply, so I'm going to multiply each side by negative 6. These cancel, and I get x equals negative 30. Again, you can check it the exact same way in the calculator. Here's the next one. We have just a few more to do. Okay, I'm going to draw my dotted line. The first thing, it says 1/2 x plus 2 equals 6. Move the 2 to the other side. I'm going to subtract 2 from each side. I get 1/2 x equals 4. Well, when you have a fraction, all you do is multiply by the reciprocal. So I'm going to flip it over. 2 over 1. 2 over 1. Well, this is the same as 4 over 1. Well, by doing the reciprocal, these cancel out. They make 1. X equals 4 times 2 is 8. 1 times 1 is 1. X equals 8 divided by 1 is 8. Almost put 1. You would check it the same way by putting the left-hand side into y1, right-hand side into y2. Same thing we did with the fractions. If I go in here, to get 1/2, all you do is press 1 divide 2. That gives you 1/2. X plus 2. And then down here I'd put in there the 6. Second graph, go to where x is 8, and I would check and see that y1 and y2 are the same, and I would know I was correct. Next, pause the video, come back and see how you did. I'm going to draw my dotted line. Oop, I guess I used the green. That's all right. I'm going to add 4 to each side. 1/3 x, these cancel, equal 12. Okay, 1/3, flip it over, it's 3 over 1. Come over here, 3 over 1. Well, put the 12 over 1. These cancel out. They make 1. Cancel each other out. And then I have 12 times 3 is 36. 1 times 1 is 1. X equals 36. You check it the same way by putting it into y1 and y2. We have 2 more, and then we have a few more practice problems we can do here. Pause the video, come back and see how you did. Draw the dotted line. I have -1 to each side. These cancel. 2/3 x equals 8. Multiply by the reciprocal, 3 over 2. These cancel. I get x equals, this is 8 over 1. 8 times 3 is 24. 1 times 2 is 2. 24 divided by 2 is 12. Well, if I go and check it, left hand side into y1, right hand side into y2. So let's go up here and check this. Go to y equals, I'm going to put in 2/3. 2/3 is 2 divide 3, x plus 1, and in y2 is 9. Second graph, I'm going to go to where x is 12. y1 and y2 are the same. That means I'm right. Next one. Pause the video and come back and see how you did. I draw my dotted line. I'm going to add 2 to each side. I'm going to add 2 to each side. And I have these cancel out. And I get 3/5 x equals 9. I'm going to multiply each side by the reciprocals. These cancel each other out. I get x equals 9 times 5 is 45 divided by 3. X equals 15. Okay, here's some practice problems. You can pause the video and come back and see how you did on these 4 problems. On the first one, you would have added 4 to each side. You get 8x equals 16. Divide by 8. X equals 2. The next one, add 8 to each side. You get 2x equals 22. Divide by 2 to each side. X equals 11. Next one, subtract 4 from each side. Negative x equals 12. This is the same as -1. You divide -1 by each side. X equals -12. Right here. Last one, subtract 3 from each side. X divided by 8 equals -1. Multiply each side by 8. These cancel. X equals -8.